How's it going, everybody? Hyper here. You're with sort of a new video where I'm gonna break down a deck that I've put out recently and why it is the way it is, how does it work with itself, and uh, basically what the objective of the deck is. Because I've been getting feedback from you all, and one of the big things I get is it's a cool video. Like what you did. I like, the what I saw, but I have no idea what's going on, or I have no idea what the deck does. I have no idea, that sort of thing. So I wanted to create this video that would help with that. And hopefully, if y'all like it, maybe I'll do this format instead, and instead of just, oh, here's the video, there you go. So if you do, just, let me know either in the comments or with likes. I appreciate that. So without further ado, let's get into it. So this is my version of a deck out deck. And for those of you who don't know, deck out is where you send your opponent's deck to the graveyard and or to banish pile, and when it comes their turn again, they can't draw, which triggers a special win condition we call deck out. That's the bread and butter of this deck, which, to be fair, doesn't happen that often, but with this deck, it's its purpose. How do we do that? The big reason this deck works is because of two cards. One being Inferno Tempest, and the other being Necroface. The way Inferno Tempest works is that when you take in one battle phase, or in one attack, you take 3,000 or more damage, you can activate Inferno Tempest, and then this sends all monsters from both the deck and the graveyard from both players and banishes them face up. And that's the key part here. Because we're going to also be banishing our three Necrofaces, which their effect is when they are banished face up, you get to banish the top 5 cards from both players' decks. And I think you can kind of see where this is going, where you're now banishing 15 cards. Now, here's the other part of this. Let's say you don't have enough in order to win. Well, that's why we also have Virtual World Nyannyan. And Nyannyan's ability is that when you have banished it face up, you can select one monster or one card that is banished and send it back to your deck. So we would then select one of our Necrofaces and send it back to our deck, which wouldn't disrupt the original chain. You're still going to get the 15. But that Necroface is then going to get triggered again when it gets banished again. So you're basically banishing 20 cards, which is more than enough a lot of times to win. But again, that's also one of the weaknesses of this deck is if you're going against another deck that's very heavy into traps or spell cards, like Sky Striker, Eldlik. And so that's why we have a lot of, mainly 2 stall cards. One being Fucho and the other being Crooked Cook. And so there's kind of 2 ways that we can get there. One being with Fucho, if we, let's say we have, either that's like all we have is we only have the level 1 monsters, so we just go into Fucho, which will kind of help us stall for a little bit to get where we need, or using the level 4s to make Crooked Cook to stall long enough to get the cards we need. So again, 2 ways to do this. So, how do we do it with the Fucho? If you look at the deck list, there's going to be a number of level 1 monsters, which, Adhara, you got the Steelswarm, you got the Jester Confit, and I even threw in an Effect Veiler. their job is, again, to make that Fucho. Or if the conditions are already there, you can play them because they have no attack, so you can get that 3,000 damage. So that's one way we can win. The other way is stalling with the Crooked Cook. And I put in cards that would really help with that. Such as the Beautunaful Princess, Buzzsaw, and the Astral Kuriboh. So that especially the Astral Kuriboh, because like if one of the, the Beautunaful Princess, or if the Buzzsaw Shark gets negated and hopefully not destroyed, then you still get the ability of the right hand shark, which is that, if this card is used as material for a summon, it gains, the ability can't be destroyed. It's still there, and you can still special summon it. And that Astral Kuriboh, when it's summoned, becomes a level 4. So then you can create that Crooked Cook. And the thing with Crooked Cook is that you can't have any other cards on your field, because under that condition, it can't be destroyed, or it can't be destroyed by card effects. So it's pretty much a boss monster without all the attack. So as I said, it's a great stall card. I would say, though, in kind of hindsight, maybe a good card to have added would have been DD Dynamite. But I'm going to be honest, I was kind of having too much fun with this version. And it's fun. I had, I'd say, relatively good success. I mean, it is a rogue deck. It's not always consistent, but it was fun. And just especially to watch them realize, oh crap, there goes my entire deck. So we'll get into some gameplay here, and I will kind of explain my thought process and what's going on. So this is going to be the first of 2 matches. And in this match, I actually drew a really good hand. I have the 2 cards to make the Fucho with the Effect Veiler and the Jester. And he plays the Maxx C, which doesn't really matter. So I get the Fucho, but I also have the Inferno Tempest, which, again, is going to allow things to get going. And then I don't have a Necroface in my hand. But what I do have in my hand is the Kaiju, which is going to be key in case my opponent doesn't summon a monster with 3,000 plus attack. I also have the Nyannyan, which I wasn't really concerned about because I have gone against this deck many times in Diamond 1. And so I felt relatively certain that he was going to go through his entire combo. And once he did that, he would have gone through enough spells and traps to where the deck out would still happen. So I would say I felt relatively safe and comfortable to continue on with this. Now, one of the big things on this duel, though, is that he summons Rongo Bongo, as we affectionately call him. And he's probably one of the most broken boss monsters out there because he just has multiple effects based on how many cards are attached to him. And so when he has 5 or more, he has an ability where he can, once activated, send all the opponent's cards, all the spells, all the traps, all the monsters, send all of them to the graveyard, which I think is one of the big things about Fucho that is so powerful because it's unaffected by other card effects, which sort of negates Rongo Bongo's whole thing. So you're going to see, I didn't have to use my Kaiju. I just go and attack into it, play Inferno Tempest, and here we go. So there's 1, 2, and now 3 is about to come up. There we go. So that's 15 cards right there. And now watch his pile up there in the top left. It is about to go empty, and there's nothing he can do about it. Look at that. Empty. And that's it. That is the victory. And there's nothing he can do about it. So let's look at the next one. So in this duel, I got a relatively good hand. I would say kind of lucky because number one, I had the Dark Roller no more, which could have came in clutch. But I had the Inferno Tempest. I also had the Lava Golems, but I also had that Steelswarm, which again is the crucial card. So it's like, okay, I can't go into Fucho, but I have Lava Golem. And then as I was looking at his hand, I'm like, oh, okay. So it's a Tenyi deck, but most likely a Sword Soul deck. He probably didn't get the cards he needed, or he was new with it. But I felt relatively comfortable that he was going to play 2 cards. And so that would allow me to use the Lava Golem. So, also kind of hurt because I love Sword Soul. I felt bad I had to do it. And then there you go. See, I drew the other Kaiju, so it really didn't matter. But I just wanted to be safe. I got rid of both of them. He plays the Maxx C. Doesn't matter. Because I'm just going to crash into it. Play the Inferno Tempest. And here we go again. Unfortunately, I didn't really have any gameplay that survived where I used the Crooked Cook. And also, honestly, they probably would have been extremely boring anyway. But I promise you, it does work, especially with Crooked Cook. But this is just kind of to show you, okay, how does it work? So, hope you enjoyed the video. Leave a like and comment down below. Bye.